Hello DragonCrafters, this is Warcrow from Dragon Productions and welcome to another video. This time we'll be looking at Betrayer and answer this question: should you play it or not? Betrayer is weird, let's begin with that. First of all, it's set out to feel like an old movie or something, completely black and white. This new take on visual is very well implemented. It makes the game much spookier than it would be with normal colors, and it set the atmosphere wonderfully, something that continues with the entire game, with one exception, but we'll get there in a bit. The major downside in this type of graphics is that it gets tiring to your eyes after a lengthy gaming session, so even if you do change the setting to more comfortable levels, I recommend you switch over to different saturation setting the moment you start feeling your eyes burn. But do try the complete black and white screen, it's one of the game's selling points after all. The story is vague. You start the game on the shore of Virginia, in the New World, where various English colonies have created settlements around the area. You know nothing about anything, and you just go on. Very soon you discover that something has gone terribly wrong, as none of your allies are alive, and something seems to have possessed your rivals in this new land, the Spanish. Along the way you find various notes and graves, and you start making your journal about it and do investigations about them. After a good amount of walking you reach the first settlement, and you discover a weird bell on the ground. After you set it to where it belongs and ring it, you are then transported in this other world, where monsters reside as skeletons and ghosts of your former countrymen wander. An interesting concept is that at first you can't really see, hear, or talk to said ghosts until you literally find an eye, ear, and a tongue that will allow for such communication. After that, you engage into conversations with those ghosts, and through the hints they give you, you set out to find clues for their identity and why they are dead. While the story certainly has a depth to it, very quickly it becomes stale, as you realize that this game is nothing than a glorified fetch quest session. You find a clue, get back to that ghost, and he will remember what happened, giving you further clues and hints. And that really repeats itself until the end. Something that bugged me from the get-go is that everything that you need to find is marked on your map. All the chests, graves, clues, everything is just there for you. However, when you find yourself in the need to revisit them, unless you have a great memory, it's impossible to go there by using the map, as the circle indicating that grave you visit, for example, is no longer there. You can completely turn them off though, they are optional. However, Black Powder Games have created a system where you hear where you need to go. Depending on how close or far it is, the ambient sound indicates that, as well as the direction of it, something that I truly enjoyed. Especially in that other world, it just feels airy and fits the theme of Betrayer very well. Let's talk about the combat now. Your enemies are either the Spaniards, or when you are in the other world, you're facing creatures such as skeletons and ghost-like opponents. The combat is basic, just aim and shoot, but it's very realistic in the sense of reloading your weapons, or when arrows and bullets get deflected from the armor your enemy is wearing. Very historically accurate, and that is really hard. Also, the combat gets progressively harder and harder. Your weapons consist of bows, pistols, and muskets, all in different qualities such as crude or common, and you have things such as explosives and tomahawks. There is also an optional stealth mechanic where you pick up an enemy and try to kill him or them with your bow, and you can actually use the gust of wind to conceal your movements, but unfortunately your enemies have extremely keen senses, able to locate you fairly easily, something that you lack in comparison. Where Betrayer shines is definitely the soundtrack. While the world is completely bare, you can hear the chirping of birds or crows around the vicinity of an area. While you travel from one spot to another, you can hear the wind going through the leaves in a very realistic manner. And when you're spotted by an enemy, it's a very loud and terrifying sound that informs you of that. Also, having to listen to the game so you can progress further just adds to the overall experience. My only complaint were the Spanish. They all sounded like a bear or something. All in all, it's a game that's able to set the atmosphere in a fantastic way, but unfortunately fails to deliver in most other aspects. However, for the price tag that is asked of it, I think it's more than a decent game. It's really one of the few reasons I'm able to recommend this one. Yes, you should play Betrayer, just to get that feel of the atmosphere the creators of Fear have managed to produce, and the game itself isn't very long, you can easily clear it in 5 or 6 hours. Thanks for watching folks, like the video if you liked it and subscribe to the channel for more content. Have a good one.